Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at deconstruction, but mostly we're poor at making art. My name's Benj.
And my name is Isaac. And this week is Deconstruction Week, which apparently, let's just get this out in the open right now so we can clear up what we mean by deconstruction.
Yeah, because apparently all of us are wrong.
When you think of the word construction, you probably picture, 10 to 50 burly blue-collar types of men in their hard hats and hammers and tool belts building something for longer than it should take.
Yes, much longer.
Wood and saws and screws and paint and drywall and sweat and tears. But apparently, when you think of the word, when you look up the word deconstruction, it has nothing to do with construction.
No, nothing at all.
Apparently, the only true definition of the word deconstruction is to, analyze your philosophy on something.
Right.
Like, generally, I imagine...
Or literature, like breaking apart and reading the literature.
So who knew that deconstruction, in the sense that most of us would probably think of it, as the opposite or undoing of construction,
right,
is not at all what Mr. Webster's descendants, because I don't think he's still alive, unless he's like Walt Disney and has his head frozen.
Although the word deconstruction probably existed when he was writing the dictionary.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not going to go... I mean, we could draw the analyzing of some ideals.
No, that's boring.
But we're thinking of deconstruction because we just spent the better part of a day deconstructing a building.
Demolishing is apparently the correct
demolition
word.
But apparently that's not what deconstruction means. But here's the thing.
But don't say decimate, because that means reduce to 1/10. We didn't do that.
Yeah, don't even get us started on the math portion of what these words can mean. But realistically, I think because we were a part of the original construction of this building, and now we are taking apart a lot of what we did, we're deconstructing
we're undoing
what we constructed. So we don't care what your fancy dictionary people say, Mr. Oxford and Mr. Webster and
Google,
Mr. Urban. Although Urban Dictionary probably has our version of the...
Probably.
If you're not aware of Urban Dictionary,
don't look it up.
Don't look it up. But because it's like anybody can put any slang.
But if you want to know what slang means, which you never do,
you don't, because it's always
it's really the only
bad
place. Yeah.
But anyway, today's
all slang words are bad.
Yes, it is. It's true. All right, we're gonna start today's drawing with a lovely couple. Unfortunately, I am going to attempt a couple of humans.
Oh.
The married type.
Ooh.
Ooh is right.
What are they deconstructing? Their marriage vows?
Oh, that would be sad. No.
It's not always a bad
analyzing?
thing.
Oh, come on. Now you're getting back to the actual definition. Ours means the opposite of constructing. Like they sat up late nights and wrote their vows, and then they're like, so time to take these apart and destroy them.
Not like the other person's not doing it. Like separately, they're deconstructing their own vows to be like, is this the right thing to say?
That's not.
Does this truly signify my love for this individual?
That's not what I'm drawing. Now that we have what I'm not drawing,
that looks like a marzipan.
It doesn't look good, is what you're trying to say. Right?
Sure. But now it has arms, so it's not marzipan.
Would you like to explain to the folks at home who may be, I don't know, like my mom, who doesn't know what marzipan is?
What? Well, she probably knows of whatever it actually is. Like, isn't it like some dessert?
It's like a
something?
dessert, but that's not what you're referring to.
No, I'm referring to the HomestarRunner.com character that looks like a broom.
Yeah, the norm.
Yeah. Or like a dust thing, just a stick with cloth under it. Maybe a bell. It's another example of what she looks like.
I always thought a broom.
Yeah, broom is the first thought because of how she moves, and the fact that it's like a dress, so it's like cloth. But she doesn't have arms. She's just a stick with a dress at the bottom.
Please forgive this head of this woman. I hope she forgives me also. because I'm going to add lots of hair, which, as we all know, covers a multitude of sins.
But does it?
Not in this case.
We rewatched, which we rarely do.
We rarely go back and watch our
We
work.
watched the Christmas Penny episode the other day. I mean, we didn't even watch the whole thing. We can't.
It's not in
Isaac drawing his first wise man. Oh man. See,
I'm about to make. I'm very cautious now because as I start drawing this man's hair, I worry.
He tried in that video to cover a multitude of sins with his hair, but he'd made it worse every step of the way. But see, what we're doing right now is deconstructing our old videos.
See, that's really what we should have done. We should have gone back and watched an old video.
Yeah, and deconstructed it.
But what fun is that? I'm going to come back to her hair later.
I just figure we always have like a lesson that we teach.
Yeah, we
in
try.
these. And today's lesson is the proper use of deconstruction.
Is that why
word?
Is that why we were saying it?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Dear.
Oh man. The shoulder mangler came today.
He's just dislocated.
But which shoulder is the mangled one? The one that doesn't exist, or the one that's twice as long as it should be?
Maybe I'll try to fix that into like a backpack or something here in a second, because it can't be an arm. That's all I know.
Which way is he facing?
He's looking off into the distance over here.
But what way is his body facing? Because his body's not facing that way.
Maybe he's like turning.
Like, even the way you drew his legs, like he's clearly facing left.
How do you draw feet from the back?
You don't. You don't draw feet is the proper answer.
Okay, maybe this is like a scarf. Yeah, that's what it is. A scarf.
A scarf. Okay, I see that now.
It's not like it's like something his wife is she's learned to live with it, because it's clearly not winter due to her wearing a dress and him wearing shorts, but he has like a scarf.
Yeah, he's like a main character in the anime.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's definitely not normal. But he has an arm too. It's just gonna come out here from his chest.
Are they like pointing at something?
That was the hope.
Because they're both pointing up.
Well, it's off
and not in the same place.
It's off in the distance. They had just purchased a new home. Let's just get this straight.
Okay.
They had one of those. You know how couples sometimes they get together and they do that whole thing where they like stand next to the like for sale sign, and they hold like the sold sign that their realtor gave them, so you can have a photo op for, I don't know,
post on social media.
I guess. I don't know what the realtor gets out of it.
It doesn't happen unless you post it on social media.
Yeah, children.
Now, well, what the realtor gets out of it is like you usually like tag, like you're supposed to like tag the realtor.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah. So there's like, oh yeah, we bought this house and we did it with this realtor. Or the realtor uses the picture of you and says, look, I bought these people a house.
You bought them a house? That's the kind of realtor I want.
Yeah, didn't your realtor buy your house for you?
I might not have the best realtor, although we have the same realtor.
I didn't use the same realtor as you.
You didn't?
I used the one that buys houses for you.
Wow. I should look up your guy. I don't even need a new house, but if you're just giving them away. But they did that whole, that's where they were doing. They were here doing that whole, like, dumb, we bought our house thing. There's like the for sale sign over here. Just pretend. It's like for sale, and it's like, crossed off, striped like the North Pole.
Did they buy a house in the North Pole?
No, I think he liked it just because it had a stripe, like his scarf.
Yeah, I see.
So anyway, they're off in the distance and they're looking at their new home.
See, I'm a bit worried because of the title of the video. I'm worried for this couple.
You're worried for them? As you ought to be. Because what was a lovely home just moments before has been reduced to boards. It's a really small house.
Did they like follow through with all of the paperwork and everything and get insurance, or?
Let's say for the sake of not bumming everyone out, yeah.
Okay, so they may have actually gotten the good end of the deal here. Because rebuilding a house is significantly cheaper than the insurance.
But you don't understand. It was a new build, and they need a place to live. This is an act of villainy.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, if this happened to you and the insurance pays for it, which they probably wouldn't because, insurance companies. But the insurance you get for the mortgage pays for the whole mortgage. But rebuilding the house is like half the cost of the mortgage because you're paying for the land and stuff.
I never knew.
I mean, for a new homeowner, there's almost nothing better you can do than burn their house down for them before they move all their stuff in.
That has a lot to do with the next part of this drawing then, because who would do such a thing? Mm-hmm. I originally was going to draw a villain, the villain of this piece. But now that you're like, this couple's so lucky. maybe I've got an idea. I'm still gonna draw my villain.
Right.
His name is Deconstruction dude.
The dastardly deconstructionist.
Dastardly deconstructionist.
Does he have a curly Q mustache?
Of course. His hammer has stripes like the guy's scarf.
Oh, is he like his brother?
Yeah, it's complicated.
See, now the problem is, like, my house is probably going to get burned down, and then the insurance company is going to use this video as proof that it was foul play on my part.
You think?
And then I won't get the money.
Wow. Who knew our channel could have such an impact on the world?
Yeah.
Got like a pocket.
Like in the middle?
In the middle. That's where he keeps his hammer.
Oh, yeah.
It's not very realistic to like carry a hammer unless you have a belt. Mm-hmm. But if you have a hammer pocket,
right.
But again, you don't want a hammer pocket off to one side because then they're like you're pulling you one side or the other.
Right in the middle.
You want it right in the middle. And he wears like cargo shorts, like you wouldn't believe.
Oh man, he's a '90s kid, that's for sure.
They have so many pockets. Every woman they don't like him because he's like destroying their houses and stuff, but they're like so jealous.
Yeah.
And he wears big shoes so he can kick stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Deconstruct it.
It's mostly just steel. Ah, I see the mustache.
Those are his eyes. That can be a comic booky type thing, right?
Yep.
His head is also kind of hammer shaped.
That his head or his hair?
It's like a chef's hat. That's his head.
Well, it's his head or hair? I hope it's not his head for his sake.
It's his head. This guy has to have some kind of tragic backstory.
His head bulged. So
he was in a house once and it deconstructed.
It fell apart
on him.
He's like, no house will ever fall apart on someone else ever again.
Yeah, because I'm going to deconstruct.
So I'm going to deconstruct them before they can move in.
It's complicated.
He's as big as the house.
He's real big. He's real big. He's like, it's like just the power emanating off this dude.
I'm assuming the people are close to us.
Yeah,
and they're not the size of the house.
He's like the size of a giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's holding a sledgehammer like it's a regular hammer.
Right.
And it's a big sledgehammer.
So you had to get like Deconstruction Man insurance. Like that's such like a thing in this world.
Yeah, it's complicated. That's for sure. Because also people are like, sometimes they love him, and sometimes they hate him, depending on if they understand the finer points of the insurance law as you do. You know, because some people are like, "Oh no, my home," and the insurance company's like, "Well, you didn't have demolition, dude.
Yeah, you did.
Dastardly demolition insurance. Deconstructionist. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what I said.
Yeah, you said demolition.
Demolition. No, we're drawing. Yeah,
the
we're drawing
proper word.
deconstructionist,
Yeah.
and then you get demolitionist insurance. It's different.
Yeah,
That's the guy who comes and blows up your house. He has a different backstory.
this guy unbuilds the house. Like he like lays the screws.
Yeah, like
to the side.
Yeah, like, exactly. There's like a line of like those are like the screws.
Yeah.
That he's laid
He
out.
doesn't just demolish the house.
No,
he
like
deconstructs it.
Like none of it's broken except the roof. It's something. That's just how they put it together. It's like a Lego, like a puzzle piece.
Yeah,
But
that's how roofs.
the other half of the roof is just over here.
Yeah, the holes perfectly for it.
Yeah, but he just like takes it apart brick by brick and nail. It's really efficient. Like the people who have to come back and rebuild the house, they have all the materials.
Right, yeah, ready to go.
It's like when you see they're about to start building something new and they ship in like wood and you see like the pallets of it sitting out there for months before they actually start putting it all together.
Right.
It's like that. He just takes it apart and it's like a puzzle you just have to put back together.
And he lines it up, everything like with the blueprint.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. Yeah, this sign is in the middle of the sidewalk, apparently.
As they do.
I don't know.
How come the sidewalk doesn't like go to the house?
Because he took it apart.
He took apart the sidewalk.
It's in
and like repaved the part that split off.
It's in an open bag over here. C for concrete. And there's like a pitcher of water.
Oh wow, he has like superhuman abilities.
Yes, he does. It's because of his tragic backstory. Yeah. So this is deconstruction, man. And they're over here, and they're like, he's like, oh no. And what's the actual definition of deconstruction again for the people at home that aren't familiar? Benj?
What?
What's the actual definition of deconstruction? It's like to pick
like
apart one's
like
ideals,
the analyzing,
right? Yeah.
The analyzing of philosophy or written language.
Yes, but she's going to be doing that. But why do you think he did it? See, she's like deconstructing.
Like his like worldview.
Yeah, his like, why does he do this?
Yeah.
Like she's not even like upset. She's like a psychologist by trade. Works down at the local university in the psychology department because that's the department of universities.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, why does this giant man with a hammer and a weird head do this? Why does my husband always wear a scarf in the middle of July? Why does she's a deconstructionist by nature, and
she's
this is
psychological deconstructionist,
and he is deconstruction, man. This is like the beginning of a movie, or like the part where it's like she's gonna fix him, and she's gonna leave she's gonna leave Scarf Man.
So it's not a good movie.
Well, maybe she won't leave Scarf Man. Maybe through them helping deconstruction, the dastardly deconstructionists, he'll come to terms with his abandonment issues at winter when he was abandoned with nothing but a scarf. And it helped him stay alive.
Wait, so is Scarf Man related to him somehow?
I mean, that could be a good twist. They're brothers.
Yeah. They both were given a scarf at birth.
He was given cargo shorts at birth, and he was given a scarf. It's quite a. You'd have to watch the movie. Coming soon to a streaming service no one's heard of near you.
The plot almost sounds similar to Hancock.
Yeah, no, it is in a way. Like they help the villain, and you realize he's not really a villain. And then there's like Demolition Man, who's actually the true villain. He like blows up houses instead of takes them apart. and they have to like team up to stop him.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
demolition is just bad.
Scarf Man has to decide, like, you know, his wife is like hanging off a cliff, and he's like, "My scarf is also hanging off a cliff, and I've known my scarf longer than you." And
Who
she's
do I
like,
save?
"Which one matters more to you, Filbert?" And he's like,
His name is Filbert.
and he's like, "I suppose I have to be a man." And then he grabs her hand at the like she starts falling like he does in the movie. You know, he waited that long. Like she has enough reason to still be upset that he waited so long. And then at the end, Deconstructionist Man builds him a new scarf.
Oh,
Because he's
so he builds something for the first time.
yeah, and then it like pans away at the very end, and you see that he like took apart like the curtains to make the scarf. Like he's getting better, but he's not quite there. It gives you hope for like a sequel.
Yeah.
It's like a comedy.
Right.
A comedy drama, a psychological deconstructionist film.
Right, yeah, the classic,
My favorite
the
genre.
classic genre.
My favorite. Yeah, this is what more could you want? And it's a superhero movie, sort of. Yeah. But deconstruction.
Yes.
See, what more could you want? You've learned the true definition of deconstruction. You've learned that if you're a grown man wearing a scarf in July, you should marry a psychologist
Yep.
who can help you. And you've learned that we haven't gotten any better at art.
Yes. Some consider us deconstructionalists of the art world.
Oh, that would be. I would take that deconstructionist style. See, if the word is as complicated as apparently it actually is, that could be our page in the art history book.
Yeah.
The deconstructionist era.
Yes.
They took good art, deconstructed it down to
base
it.
materials.
Yes, and it's their use of kindergarten level shows us where we all began before our skills were constructed.
Yes. We're using
They've deconstructed their
colors.
30-year-old man skills.
Yeah, we're using two colors, black and white. Kindergarten level skill. But the ideas that we get across are just as
Poor as
anything else we do.
But I like that. We can be deconstructed. Like, I mean, is that we'll probably look it up, and it's probably like
It's
an art.
a thing.
Yeah, it's probably
It's
like
that's what Picasso's art's called.
there's
or
so
something.
many weird art styles. I'll look it up when you're drawing.
But I think ours is the true version of it.
True deconstructionists, like
Yes.
Puritan deconstruction artists
Yes.
of the Puritan deconstructionist period
Yes.
of 2023.
Which is just us.
It came out of the COVID era. This is what it did to the world of art. The world fell apart, and we rose to the challenge
To deconstruct it even farther.
Yes.
But like, you know what? The art world didn't fall apart with the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
So we must make it happen.
Now it's your turn
Yes,
to
let's
deconstruct something.
Let's see what I deconstruct. Okay. Let's see what I draw.
We were just talking about our philosophies here of how we think about what we're going to draw. I try to put a little bit of thought into usually trying to come up with a pun or something clever for my drawing. Doesn't. And the problem with that is it so often doesn't come across because I'm not skilled enough at drawing to actually get my point across. And it just becomes funny in a different way. Mostly because you laugh and point and mock and something like curse and scream and cry. And I think my art does all that to people. But my philosophy is I usually try to think of like what I'm gonna draw, like my dude, my villain, a house, two people standing. And then just like I just start drawing, and whatever comes out of the pen.
Whatever.
You're more of
whatever
a.
the pen wills.
Now we do discuss our drawing slightly beforehand, but in a way, I kind of miss the good old days when we would draw separately and then show each other our drawings, because so often our drawings would be almost the same idea. Now I feel like we have to try to at least not draw the same thing.
Purposefully don't.
Yeah, we're like, oh, you drew exactly what I was going to draw, so now I can't.
Yeah, that happens all the time now. But it used to be like, yeah, all of our drawings were just like the exact same drawing.
It's true.
But I mean, we have our different styles. as our viewers probably recognize.
You don't draw stick figures very often.
It's true, I don't.
Because you don't draw nose. You can't draw nose first stick figures.
I used to draw stick figures all the time, though.
See, I feel like there's an art in and of that.
My main.
Do you remember those videos we used to watch when we were younger of stick figure fights?
Mm-hmm.
What were those called? Were these called stick figure?
Called like stick fights or
stick wars.
Stick wars.
It's just like stick figures doing kung fu. It's kind of like they took like the Matrix style of fighting, and someone animated it using like paint.
Yeah.
But they made it cool.
That's basically what it was.
So these guys are building a giant
they're not
bottle of whatever that is.
As you probably know, they're not building. They're deconstructing.
Oh. They kind of look like a weird group of movers.
But see, I am kind of going for a pun, right?
I'm just trying to figure out what that's supposed to be.
You might figure it out soon.
We took a short break in between us drawing. We actually looked up deconstructivist art to make sure we were the first ones to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out we probably are.
Yeah.
Deconstructivism is an architecture philosophy,
mm-hmm.
but we're not architects. Gosh, no. We don't build
close.
useful things for people to live in and enjoy.
Right.
We build things for them to hang on their wall once somebody else has designed that.
Yes.
Yeah. Deconstructivist architecture is kind of like the idea of like, you see that building? You see how you can tell exactly what its function is?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to build things that you can't tell what its purpose is, like weird walls and wonky shapes. And some of it looks kind of cool. Some of it's just, like all people who try to be too artistic.
What do ends look like? Do.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how.
Forgetting the basics of the English language.
Well, it's just like, where does this line go?
I mean, if it doesn't work, you just say they were deconstructing it. Just draw a dude on it, taking it apart.
Well, but I want it to almost be an N. And not like an M.
I think that works.
Yeah, close.
It's almost an H, but
But we'll draw a guy up here.
So they're deconstructing decon.
There's a guy working on this one.
Yeah. It's got a third arm or is that?
No, this is feet.
He's
reaching down.
Thought he was like an ant. You drew a guy.
Now it's the hardest letter.
That third guy on the ladder who's like at the bottom of the slope, he looks like he's got 3 arms, like an alien. Like, is this the people who built the pyramids?
3 arms?
Bottom of the ramp. And I know it's another leg, but it kind of just looks like 3 arms coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, I'm doing the pun of like, because deconstruction is also a literary term. So they're deconstructing
a word.
The word deconstruction.
But you're also making it like a building.
Deconstructing it.
Wow. We are smarty pantses. And by we, I mean...
But are we?
I mean, no. But I mean, I'm not like dumb. Right?
But are we?
I
don't even know if I'm spelling the word right.
Maybe that's why they're deconstructing it. Someone spelled it wrong.
And then for some reason, this is a lowercase r.
See, this is what deconstructionist architects go for. They're like, it's also a lowercase t. Come on. This is like, someone was like, oh yes, this is like a hotel. And people are like, it's just the word deconstructionist. And they're like, yes, thank you for noticing. I'm a deconstructionist architect, don't you know? I build things that have weird wall shapes and things that you wouldn't want to set foot in, but at least it doesn't look like your typical postmodern, like Soviet Union buildings. I say that because I think those are really boring looking.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what the Soviet Union is known for, like
boring
buildings and the threat of nuclear holocaust.
Oh, yeah. The classics.
Mm-hmm. Back when the world was simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The biggest thing you could complain about is
We might get blown up.
Might get blown up in boring buildings.
The world might end. You can still complain about that. It's probably more of a threat now, but
who does?
Back then it was like pre-internet, so you were like always like you had to stay watching. It's like I think that's how people got addicted to watching the news, because they're like, gotta watch the news every spare moment just in case.
What if we all get blown up?
Yeah, if you're about to get blown up, you really want to watch the news and know.
Yeah, wouldn't it be better to just
like blissfully unaware in your bunker?
Like there's nothing you can do if like an actual nuclear bomb is going off on you.
Yeah, see, it's better just to be unawares in your bunker, surrounded by your teddy bears and your supply of food and your fresh water pump and that radio that reaches out to the other parts of the country so that you can talk to all your other conspiracy friends. And when the aliens come out of the nuclear winter, then you can be the first ones to know, but you won't know because you'll be under the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, totally.
See, now that I'm drawing all these stripes and whatnots,
my guy might show up, Mr. Scarf Man.
Yeah, he would want to live in one of these.
I assume these are like giant bricks, though.
Yeah, they are like bricks. They're not stripes. They're just like taking it apart.
You think they're taking it apart because someone looked at it and is like,
"This is the worst."
Those are the worst. It's like bubble letters from a first grader.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh man, this deconstruction again lists architecture did a horrible job."
A few months back, you and I went down to ASU, though, Arizona State University, and we did some advertising by posting on boards and whatnot. And I'll tell you what, the art they have around ASU, I would be more impressed with a gross brick deconstructionist sign than some of the art. I mean, that's the case with all art that isn't ours. Mm-hmm. It just is so disappointing. You can't really be disappointed with our art. I mean, there's like a level to our art that you can be disappointed, because of course you're going to be disappointed in it, but you don't expect anything less.
Mm-hmm.
When the two-part artist hotel and gallery open, you're not going to go into it expecting like beauty.
Right.
You're going to be expecting our form of deconstructionist art. Yeah, where it's like, and that's a beautiful thing. It's pure. It's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
There's no erasing. There's no fixing. There's no brush strokes. There's
kindergarten level.
Yeah, but there's something simplistic about that.
Yeah, but like you look at it and you're like, I get it. Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you don't always get it, but it's more open to interpretation than like a dot on a canvas or some smeared paint colors. Like,
I get what the artist was going through. It's like, no, he drew a stripe.
Yeah.
One
that guy,
single stripe.
And if you get that, then there's help at the local.
It's just a banana taped to the wall.
And then there's a man who's pretending to eat it.
Yeah.
While all the cameras pointed at him and the security guards do nothing. Like, you really think that was not part of it? Gosh. Real performance art is just, we go and we draw this for someone. Like, the purest performance art people are like face painters.
Mm-hmm.
But if face painters only painted with black pens, we could do that.
Well, they didn't let us.
No, we tried.
Because they would let us use black markers maybe, but they didn't let us use pens.
When like you go to a fall festival and they're like, we need help, and we're like, we'll do the face painting, but we'll do it our way. And they're like, we will literally just not have face painting if you guys are the only ones. And then they stick us on the bounce house. And
we're like, but we're in charge here.
Yeah, but
they don't let us anyway.
Yeah, something about letting. And this is a paradigm. But this is a rule of the world that I want to change.
Mm-hmm.
That face painting is in color and with paint.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think face penning is a better and purer form of art.
Yeah, of course.
And I think this all goes back to like parents not understanding. Like when you're a kid, what do kids do? They draw all over themselves with pen.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. Your kids come home from school and they have pen all over their hands. And you're like, What's going on with this? I think that shows that it's the purest form of body art.
Right.
Face painting, where you're like paint and it dries and it cracks and it's uncomfortable and it's thick.
Gross.
It's gross
and you can
and
feel
oily
it all day.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst. And then you actually touch it and it smears and
and then you sweat and it's just all down
it
your
drips
face.
down in your eyes.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with pen.
No.
Yeah. And think of all the things you could do with pen. You could take like a boy who's like 6 years of age. You could draw a beard with pen.
Yeah.
You could give a girl a second set of eyebrows.
Yeah.
You could draw a vaguely. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. You could draw whatever you want.
You want to look like Batman? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll darken the areas around your eyes like he does under his mask. You want a butterfly? If someone had a black and white butterfly that flew up to them, they would think it was beautiful.
Yeah, probably.
Not that I'm
or
saying we only
terrifying.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying. Black ink. Tattoo artists get it.
Yeah.
What are most tattoos done in? Black ink.
Right. Or prison blue.
Yeah, prison blue is that's different. But it's when you start adding color to tattoos.
They actually use pens to do it.
See, we'd be really good at prison art, I think is what I'm trying to say.
We should go to the local prison and offer our
art, our tattoo skills.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
We won't do the tattoo.
We'll just do like temporary tattoos.
We'll draw the ink on them, and then they can go to their tattoo buddy.
I think what the world's really missing is face painting for prisoners.
Yes.
Because you have it in your theme parks. It's always for kids. If there's like an age somewhere around 13 or 14 that if you ask for it, you're going to get judged.
Yeah.
But prisoners, we could do prisoner face penning.
Yeah.
You give me a 79-year-old great grandpa, I will fill in the wrinkles with ink. Like,
yeah. Just what they want.
They got nothing else to do. It's the perfect market for us, really. So if you're a prison warden or you're a prisoner watching us on a smuggled in smartphone or laptop, really hard to smuggle in a laptop. You don't want to know how it's done. Right. But
the prison warden probably.
Prison guard, prison warden, and you want us to come to your prison, just leave us a comment below and we will come pens in hand.
Yeah.
All we ask is that you make sure we don't get shanked.
Well, and if you don't live near us, pay for travel.
I would legitimately be so happy if a prison warden anywhere on Earth paid us to travel and do face penning for prisoners.
Yes.
Like, that would be the highlight of our career at this point. It would
be like a punishment. I'm like, the prison guard would, like, they'd be like, oh, if you don't get in line, we're going to bring the 2 hours. They're going to draw on your face.
They hold up like Saggy Joe, the 79-year-old.
They're like, we need you.
Filled his wrinkles with ink. No, but I really do think of how many prisoners there are. There's a lot. Yeah. Let's just be fair. It's an unfortunate, but our world's broken and there's a lot of prisoners. Good justice system. There's a lot of prisoners. And if we can get in on like the prison art world, I think that's a big untapped market.
We could put art in every prison cell.
Yes. Oh my God. Think of it. It's like a 2-port hotel that you're forced to stay in.
Yes.
And you get in trouble if you take down our art.
Yeah.
Even if it's being used as a punishment, think of the views we'd get when they're like solitary confinement with the 2 poor artists.
Yeah. You have to
it's
watch
just like
it.
walls of screens and they put us on.
Oh yeah.
Not that I'm saying our art should be used as a punishment,
but it could be,
and it's more than most art. So, prison wardens, we got your back. Prisoners, we got your face. And with that bit of unashamed pitchery, we will see you next time.
Bye.
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.